Well, then there were 15. The Republican field for president shifting big time. Scott Walker, the one-time Iowa frontrunner by a lot, has officially suspended his race for the White House in 2016. He's the second GOP candidate to do that, with his poll numbers plummeting and cash flow drying up. But he's not going out quietly. In his announcement, Wisconsin Governor Walker made the unusual move of calling for some of the other candidates to drop out as well and, quote, clear the field to take on the current frontrunner, Donald Trump, whom he would not name. Syndicated columnist Charles Krauthammer is calling Walker's surprise exit remarkable and patriotic and explaining what he believes is behind his epic reversal of fortune.
He peaked early, and it's not just a process event. When he peaked early, he was way out ahead from that one great speech he made in Iowa. He then played safe. He was sitting on a lead, which was a very early lead in one state, and it all hinged on Iowa. He knew, and he said that if he didn't win Iowa, he'd have to reconsider. When he knew that he disappeared in Iowa, it was over.
Walker's exit, as I just mentioned, leaves a field of 15 Republican candidates, and it sets up a feeding frenzy for his staffers and deep-pocket supporters. Marco Rubio's camp announcing he picked up Walker's state co-chair in New Hampshire shortly after Walker decided to quit. Kennedy, I'm curious to know, why do you think he did it now?
I actually have a great deal of respect for him, saying that he had a calling to get out of the race and encouraging other people to get out as well. And I think what we've seen is these debates really matter. They really galvanize opinion one way or the other. And in a crowded field, it's really the only showcase we have to contrast candidates side by side. And he wasn't living up to that contrast. And, you know, he, as an early frontrunner, you assume that he would stay a little longer in the race. And the fact he didn't is an incredible signal of how politically chaotic it is right now. Certainly it's interesting for us, and we'll see if other candidates heed that call.
Fran, your thoughts?
Well, you know, I'm a great believer, and you've got to see the signs. The signs are reality. And Scott Walker looked at reality and said, this isn't working. I'm not going to be the guy. And he got out. He did a really good thing.
All right. His reality, though, Andrea, turning into somebody else's reality, because he's calling on other candidates to quit.
I wonder who he could be referring to. And people are asking where his support is going, and I think Marco Rubio is trying to get those voters as quickly as he can. This is a very interesting line that I thought really sums it up. A personality that was easily overshadowed. I mean, Scott Walker has an incredible record in Wisconsin, but his personality wasn't able to show in the debates, and he really wasn't able to articulate that incredible record. Also, I think he made the mistake of trying to please everyone. He was trying to please the base, but he was trying to please the middle at the same time, and in the end, when you try and please everyone, you lose everybody, and I think that's unfortunately what happened.
You know, what some are pointing to today, though, Ainsley, is kind of some missteps that he actually made on the ground as a candidate in terms of, you know, backing away from some issues, saying, well, I'm not going to talk about that right now.
Right. Well, you know, when I was watching the second debate, and I know he's come out saying he blames the fact that he only got 2, 3 questions, whatever it was. And I thought, you can't really make excuses. When you're up there on stage, that's your time to shine. If the debate is over and you didn't get a chance, chances are you're out of the race. And I think we're going to see more of this because it's going to be a limited field just by virtue of funding. If you have $100,000 to give to a candidate, you're not going to give it to a candidate that's at the bottom of the pack.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money to give. So the people with a lot of money, they're the ones that are going to be shining. And he ran out of money. Bottom line, he and Rick Perry both have said they ran out of money.
You know, you'll see a candidate use the word suspension for their campaign so they can hang on to their delegates.
Yeah.
You know, every campaign has debts. They'll continue to try to fundraise as best they can beyond the point of the debts as well to make, you know, their candidates look more palatable. I'm wondering where his supporters, though, the voters, are going to go. Who aligns?
Well, you have to look at the people who would be most energized by Scott Walker and where they would be directed during the debates. And originally I thought, oh, they're going to go for another governor. We have plenty of governors in the race, but none of them have been very charismatic, and they have not done a great job of disseminating their points of view. But Marco Rubio has, and he was one of the people. We've heard a lot about Carly Fiorina from the second debate and the first, of course, but Marco Rubio also had a nice boost after that second debate, and I think that's where a lot of his supporters will go.